My name is Gavin Evans, and this is my review of the 1984 movie Firestarter. And this is one of those movies that was sitting on my shelf for a very long time, but with the remake coming out, I'm like, you know what, let's give this movie a chance. So I finally put it on, and I wish I left it on the shelf. Look, this is one of those movies that I don't even think should be remade. I think it's a movie that should only exist back when it came out. I'm of the mindset that good movies should be left alone, bad movies with great potential should be the ones to get remade. But I don't even think this movie falls into that category. When you're watching this movie, it's just impossible not to recognize that we've gone so far ahead with movies coming out now that there's really nothing new that this movie could possibly offer. Like, lots of the main plot reminded me of Logan. Lots of the visuals reminded me of X-Men 2 when Pyro's blowing up vehicles. So it's just like, if you remake this, what new angle are you going to bring to it that we haven't seen already? And I just don't think there is any. But even looking at it as just this movie, it's just a really bad and dull movie. I was very disappointed too, because I thought Keith David was the lead. And I'm just like, you know what? I'm looking forward to seeing him in the leading role. But then it turns out it's actually David Keith, and I'm just like, oh, well, that's disappointing. I was hoping for Keith David, and David Keith, not to be mean, is awful in this movie. He is a terrible actor here, just terrible. Drew Barrymore, I don't want to be too mean because she was a kid when this movie was made. I don't think she was awful, but I don't think she was really all that good either. And you've also got some other bigger names in this movie, like Martin Sheen, George C. Scott, and Louise Fletcher, but none of them stand out in any way. And none of the performances really did nothing for me. But the worst part of this movie is the directing by Mark L. Lester, because this is a movie that takes itself far too seriously. It's just a movie that refuses to have even an ounce of fun. It's way too serious for such a goofy story, and it's a very long, slow movie without an ounce of energy or personality. It's a boring movie in every single sense. And there's these terribly stupid moments that just take you right out of the movie. Like, there's a scene where they're going over a rail, and instead of the daughter just climbing over, she jumps into her dad's arm, and the dad falls down a hill almost right into the front of a truck and gets out just in time. And it's just so goofy, but the movie plays it so seriously. But because the movie's so lifeless and the performance is so dull, you can't even have goofy fun with it. The way that the dad controls people, he just does this like a mad scientist, and it's just stupid. There was this one scene where they go to a farmhouse and they're just like, look, we're getting chased by some government people, and then 2 minutes later, the government comes to get them, and then the farmer just takes out his gun. It's just like, we'll get them. Like, you just met these people 2 minutes ago. You know nothing about them. You know nothing at all. And then the one climax that takes place at the stables is just awful. Like, you've got this one guy pointing a gun at the dad, clear shot, and then he's just like, I'm here. And it's just like, why did you blow your cover? Why didn't you just shoot him there? It was just so stupid. I guess the 5 minutes of chaos that follows that stable scene is decent. It's got some decent visual effects, but this is a movie that just bored me to no end. It refuses to have even an ounce of fun, so none of the stupid moments are entertaining to me because the movie that those moments are in is just so serious and so lifeless that it's impossible to have even an ounce of fun with this movie. The performances, especially David Keith, is just awful. And the story stands out in no way. We've seen this kind of story many times since this movie comes out, and it just hasn't aged well. That said, it's still not effective at what it's trying to do. So even if I saw this movie when it came out, I still would hate the story. This is a movie that I did not like at all. I'm going to go ahead and give the original Firestarter a 1 out of 10. Yeah, I should have started a fire and put this disc in it. That's the closing line I'll go with. But have you seen Firestarter? What did you think about it? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you like, make sure you comment, make sure you subscribe. Stay tuned for some more videos soon, and Gavin out.